What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Bianconeri's home for an update. An update which is relevant to the transfer window, in my opinion, and it's putting respect on Allegri's name. So it's breaking news. It's news that came out of nowhere because the club and Allegri find an agreement to terminate the contract by mutual consent. So no legal battles because I think it was Saturday. The reporting came out that he's gonna sue the club and he's gonna ask for damage, money, and all those things. And now it comes out that they found an agreement and they're just gonna mutually agree to part ways. We don't know how much the club is gonna pay. It's obviously not gonna pay. They're not gonna pay the full amount they needed to pay him if he's just sat on his sofa for 1 year. I'm assuming it's a good deal for the club. Otherwise, they would have just laid back and said, we're just going to figure this one out, with a legal battle. But I think common sense won, because at the end of the day, for me, he's still a legend. I think he should be getting sacked. I still think that what he has done, I'm not going to sit here and be like, you don't deserve that because you did what you did. And I don't think the club had another issue, like had another I could have done it in another way. I think if you call out your quote unquote boss in Juntali, you do what you do in the post game. I think as a club, you cannot do anything else than say, okay, it's over. We need to deal with it. It's now. You're done. However, a legal battle is not what we need. For 1,000 reasons, but two simple ones. One is that you cannot burn that bridge completely with Allegri because he has won so much for the club, and the way I hate it the last couple of years, and some might hate him in general. I don't, because he's won a lot of things, and I don't want that he's kind of banned from the club. That makes no sense as well, in my opinion. And the second reason is it would take so much energy to focus on, oh man, we need to go into a legal battle with Allegri. And do we need to pay the money? Is that money going to go off the books or not? Now let's say you needed to pay him 50 million euros and his staff. If they just sat back and kicked on the sofa for 1 year, let's say you agreed to pay half of that, at least as a club, you now know that money is gone. It's just gone, period. But if you didn't do that, it's like, okay, are we going to be short of 50 million euros, or are we going to win the battle and we just need to pay him 10 million euros, or are we going to lose it and we're going to need to pay him more than 50 million euros? Like, that would have been something that would take so much energy away from the club. It will take the focus away from what it should be, that it would have become messy down the line. At one point, when results are not going bad, what's going to happen. The media is like, oh, you remember the legal battle? Here we go. That's what being said. That's what the club needs to pay. It will be so much distraction for nothing. I do respect Allegri for that, because I'm not going to lie. If I were Allegri and I know I'm not going to coach this season, I would just sit back home and ask for the full payment. I would. You gave me that contract. I'm going to take my payment, period. I would be doing that. I won't be a hypocrite. So I kind of respect him for that, because after the way he got sacked, no matter how he reacted, he could have easily said, screw you guys, just pay me. And if you want to have a legal battle, we will have a legal battle, if that's what you want, But he said, no, let's find an agreement. We move away, and we keep this... we keep this close, because I thought if the legal battle was going to happen, we would have tons of quotes and news leaks about this, and that. Now I think it will be very, very limited, in my opinion. I don't think if you find that type of agreement, you do that for the good of your own, but also the club, and also your future potentially at the club, just coming back in general. You do that for that reason. I don't think Allegri is also the type of person that goes out and tells the world that this happened with Giuntoli, this and that happened with Giuntoli. I don't think he's that type of person. And by doing this, I also kind of think that for him, it's done. It's over with. I think he will at least do a 1 year thing without coaching. I have a feeling he will just stop coaching in general. But as of now, I have a feeling he'll say, okay, this is enough. 1 year, that's good enough. Or like finding an agreement, is good enough so we can all move forward with what was a big drama. It was a big drama. So it's a good news. It's a good piece of news. And it is relevant just purely, again, on the focus of the club financially as well. Now the club knows what's gone and what's not gonna be gone. Who knows down the line? So that's also a positive thing, and we can just focus on what we should be focusing on: winning. Building a team with a new coach, competing, improving. That's what the club is about. Just a club in general. Even if it's fifth tier division, but the last 2 years we've been talking about so much stuff that had nothing to do with football, or had to do with football, was so negative because we didn't know what was going to happen with Allegri. We didn't know what was going to happen with players and management and all those things. So now that focus should be shifted completely, and it's all focused on building something, winning, and competing. Because we've not been doing that for 4 years now, not even close, and it's been way too long. Like, it needs to get serious again. It needs to be about football and just football and nothing else. I want to go listen to pressers and it's about football. I want to wake up during the week, read the newspapers, and it's about football. Or we play PSG in the Champions League, and on the weekend we play Torino, preview, review, pressers, interviews, getting stuff out of the players, out of the coach. That's about football, not about points deductions and legal battles and is he gonna sack? He said this, that leaked out of the locker room. That player does not like that coach. The coach doesn't trust him. Like, all these things were just too much. So it's extremely positive that this is out of the way, and we can just finally move on, and we can focus on, obviously, the transfer window, but also just football in general. So it's a good move. Very unexpected, in my opinion. The news is obviously on the side. You can read them out. They actually thanked Allegri and wished him the best for the future, which he didn't do in the previous one. So that kind of tells you the way this went down a little bit, or the reason this went down as well. But yeah, man, now it's just focus on winning, getting the transfers done, focus on the new coach, what he wants to do, and we can move on, and we can start enjoying watching football in general, but just watching this club again, and do not come on every single week and talk about stuff that had nothing to do with the game, but we needed to discuss because they're relevant in terms of it's the news, but it was kind of irrelevant to us directly potentially winning games. But let me know in the comments what you think about the news. Like the video, subscribe, and I will see all of you again today for a live show with a guest. So stay tuned for that. See ya. Ciao.